Hello everyone and welcome back to Starship Traveller. When we last left off, we had just finished our very first space battle with a cluster of meteors, so not the typical enemy we could have, and we are now approaching the star cluster that we were heading towards previously. Let's see if we manage to reach it without any further issues. We approach the star cluster. A message from our catering officer comes through our intercom. "Captain," he reports rather. "I've just discovered a malfunction in one of our freezers. We have lost a good deal of food. What we have left will last the crew for no more than 48 hours. We agree that we must now find supplies for the ship." Alright, so here's a new challenge that's presented to us. This is really unfortunate. This is really weird because this is clearly not what we are supposed to be doing. We shouldn't be looking for provisions or food. We should be looking for information and the way home. But anyway, scanning the cluster ahead, we locate two planets of suitable temperatures and gravities to sustain life. One is green in color, the other blue. Alright? Earth is blue mostly. So let's approach the blue planet first. We settle the ship into orbit around the blue planet and check our scanners. It appears that the entire surface is covered in water, although there do seem to be life forms within the water. This is unfortunate. If it's 100% covered in water, then that means that we cannot beam down. We can beam down, but this translocator technology needs us to stand still when we beam back up, and obviously if there is no place for us to stand, then we cannot beam back up. So if we beam down, we might just drown, so we have to skip this one. Also, a purely oceanic planet, or a planet with whose surface is 100% covered in water, is unlikely to host intelligent life form, although it might host naturally edible alien life. But anyway, I'm not going to risk the life of our crew and ourselves, so we're going to leave this orbit and move on to the other planet, see if we have better luck there. We take up orbit position around the green planet. Scanning the surface, we find an abundance of vegetation and animal life, but there are no signs of intelligent inhabitants. Okay, so now we need to gather food. Unfortunately, this is an excursion that the Sylvana does not need normally, or wouldn't need normally. And also, sadly, it seems like there is nobody we're gonna be able to talk to down there. So we need to practically go down and hunt animals. And because of that, we are going to go with an unusual crew, because we need to take along people who can fight. So our goal is to protect ourselves from any dangerous animals that might lurk. There are some predators or whatever, and we don't need to take, like, for instance, science officer and engineering officer. There is nothing to do about that in these fields on a lush planet that can be, that is probably resembles Earth from the age of the dinosaurs. So instead we're going to take our strongest fighters, and that means that we're taking Andy and Steve, who are the two best warriors we have, along with ourselves. And now we beam down. Let's see if everything goes to plan. According to plan. We enter the transmitter unit, and minutes later we materialize in a dense jungle on the planet. As we get our bearings, we hear a sound. In the distance, coming closer, is something large crashing towards us through the undergrowth. Okay, let's see what we have here. Alright, so this clearly is a jungle. and something is approaching us. And I think we made the correct call, bringing our soldiers along, our guards. Now we could hide, but I don't think that's a very wise idea. Besides, we are not cowards, as always. We are instead going to draw our weapons and see what we are up against. A monstrous creature known as a Squinn crashes through the dense jungle foliage, then stops. The giant beast faces us, as though it dares us to react first. Without warning, it sniffs the air and then grunts. Okay, although we are in a parallel universe, for some reason it has the same creatures that we could find in our own universe, so we identify this immediately as a Squinn. And the Squinn is an edible creature, believe it or not, and it actually contains a lot of meat. So we are going to shoot it down, simple as that, and that way we can alleviate at least our food provisions issue, at least to a level. So we're going to just simply kill this one. The Squinn roars loudly as the blast strikes at point blank range. With a violent crash, it topples over dead. We contact the Sylvana and order the beast to be beamed aboard. It will certainly provide a few good meals for the crew. Okay, so far so good. Now, I don't think one Squinn is going to be sufficient on the long run, so and we are in no danger whatsoever, so let's just keep on going. We still have well, our kind of mission to do. Our objective is to still gather more food, so we could start gathering vegetation or look for other animals to hunt. I don't think these are exclusive options, so we could probably do both. Let's start with the with gathering. That's the first option anyway. That's on the top, and let's see if we find any plants that's worth taking aboard. We search for suitable plants using a nutritional analyzer to tell us which will be edible. Not far from where we landed, we find a small cluster of suitable plants with succulent leaves, large fruits and tuberous roots. Okay, so far so good. We begin to cut down the plants and make them into a pile which may be beamed up to the ship. Suddenly, we feel something restraining our leg and look down to see a vine wrapped around our calf. Its grip tightens. As we wrestle with the vine, the leaves of another plant bend over our head and clamp themselves onto our body. We struggle, but it seems that the plants are alive. Well, obviously, I guess the text is meant to say that the plants are, active or intelligent or something like that. And the plants are attempting to defend themselves against us. Okay? So, this is bad news. And we need to get out of this immediately before we are completely entangled and probably strangled to death or crushed to death. We could try to entangle ourselves without further harming the plants, and normally I don't go for the violent option, but this way we already harmed the plants, so that's why they are defending themselves, because we started gathering them. And I don't think that these plants are that intelligent or that complicated, so I don't think it will work out, and if it doesn't, then we simply die. So this is a risk that I'm not willing to take. Instead, we are going to draw our phaser and simply shoot ourselves free, which ought to work. Adjusting the heat setting on our phaser, we fire a beam along the ground, making a circle around ourselves. Okay? To our relief, the pressure on our leg eases, and now we are able to rip the vines from us. However, the drain on our phaser's energy has been severe, and we will not be able to use it until we have recharged it on the ship. Okay, so it turns out that this was not a very good idea. We probably gathered some foods. I don't think we have enough food as of yet, and we are fresh out of ammunition, phaser juice. But we still need to find more food, so I guess we'll have to search for more animals to hunt and hope we come across creatures like, I don't know, rabbits or other small animals, creatures that are not dangerous at all, and we could hunt them down with, with our hands or with some primitive tools. So let's see if that works out. We could theoretically still beam up anytime, so I don't think we're in any immediate danger as of this moment. Using a portable scanner to locate more animal life, we track down another of the hog-like Squinn. Eventually, we come across a clearing where 3 of these beasts are drinking water. Perfect, so this, it seems like the Squinn meat is on the menu for the next couple of days or weeks. And we could attack them with our phaser, but unfortunately we're just fresh out of phaser juice. And so we are going to need to tackle them with our bare hands. I don't know why we don't have the option to just simply leave it as it is, but again, we need the meat, and I think we are still stronger than these creatures are, so let's see if we can take them on. We and our crew members spring on the herd of Squinn. The creatures will only attack if they are being attacked themselves. We must kill at least one before we are able to contact the Sylvana, but once one lies dead, we may beam up anytime, taking our prey with us. Okay, so means that we can escape after one of them is dead. I don't think they're that strong. Let's see how powerful they are. Okay, well, they're very sturdy, so they have a lot of hit points, that's for sure. And I guess this is time to explain the combat in Starship Traveller, which is again unique to this game. It is not that different from the standard battle system found in the other games. It is, in fact, it is almost identical. The only difference is that it allows multiple enemies to battle us, and we also can, of course, bring additional 2 people onto the battlefield. We can decide who is supposed to face who in the battle, so we can decide which of our characters should face which one of the enemy, and I don't think it's that important here. And we're going to roll for each and every one of these encounters. Now, once one of the characters dies on either side, with the other side still full, then of course that's going to end in a disparity, and afterwards the character that does not have a live enemy facing it is going to be able to swing an additional attack on the top enemy, and unfortunately we cannot switch who is the top enemy, so it's always going to be the top one as long as this one is alive. And that character is not going to be in danger anymore of being attacked. So this is going to require some strategic thinking on our part, at least in the future battles, but in this one I don't think so, because all these Squinn are almost identical in their skill level and their health level as well. So the first one needs 1 less hit to die, and the second one is 1 point weaker. And I think this setup is perfect. This was automated, as you saw. Steve and ourselves, we have the maximum skill level possible, so we can easily take on the Squinns that are stronger, or more skilled rather. And Andy, who is a tiny bit weaker, can easily take on the, once again, tiny bit weaker second Squinn. Now, we could roll all these dice one by one, but we are not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to click quick combat, and we're going to see the results of just one roll of battle and see where we are after that. Wow, okay, that was extremely unlucky. Wow, the Squinn have managed to roll extremely high stats, and we were quite unlucky. So all 3 of us suffered damage, so they beat us on one-on-one, each and every one of them, which is extremely unlikely, as I just said, because they have skill levels that are 4 points lower than us. But this should not continue like this, so hopefully... Okay, the second round went better. Steve and ourselves managed to land blows, and Andy for some reason still failed. So so as you say, it's basically one-on-one battles until somebody or something drops dead. So let's continue and see how fast we can eliminate these creatures. Finally, we managed to land 3 hits. This is supposed to be like the default result, because we are so much stronger than they are, and yet they are giving us a hard time. We really need to fight for our food. And Andy is really underperforming in this battle. They rolled a tie, they rolled a draw, so obviously they've just missed. But it seems that Steve and ourselves are going to finish this battle quicker than, you know, before Andy does. Although we now miss as well, so this might take a while. Alright, a perfect round. We hit our enemies. Each and every one of us managed to hit our enemies. Once again, another perfect round. The first Squinn is about to die. And now Steve missed, as I was saying. I kind of jinxed it. But they are slowly going down, and I think we're close to winning. And as I say this, both Andy and we missed. So this is gonna take a bit longer than expected. Alright, Andy is truly underperforming in this battle. The second Squinn hit him, and he lost an additional 2 points of stamina. But the first Squinn is dead, and that means that we can select one of our characters to take out of harm's way, and of course that's gonna be Andy. And what's going to happen is we're gonna roll our rolls as usual, and at the end of that, Andy is going to strike at the second Squinn, who is now in the top position as it scrolled up, and Andy is not going to be in any danger, but he can still deal some damage to the Squinn. The usual 2 stamina points, by the way. We could run away since the first Squinn is down, but I think that the other 2 are very close to dying, so hopefully we can take them down quickly. And this was a perfect round. We managed to land 3 hits, and if we have just another one of these perfect rounds, then all 3 Squinns are dead. And we do, so threat eliminated. And we have killed all the Squinn. Beam up, let's get out of here. We have taken some bruising, but at least we are alive, and we have all the meat we could ever want. Although this is going to be a sad and monotonous diet that we're gonna be on at Squinn all the way, but I'm pretty sure this is enough food for all of our crew, at least for a long while. Back in the transmitter unit, the crew are taking our food off to the lab for analysis. We return to the bridge and prepare to leave orbit. The lab reports that our supplies are digestible and highly nutritious. Alright, now we get the standard text that Diane, medical officer Diane, heals us to 2 stamina each, and we sure need that. Actually, we, the captain, only sustained 2 points of damage, which we healed back up immediately. Steve also suffered only 2 points of damage, so he's back up to maximum stats as well. But Andy is going to take a while to heal back up. In fact, he still needs, well, 4 more stamina points, so 2 more heals by, healing rounds by Diane, so it's going to take a while. I might consider leaving him behind and taking Steve instead. Steve has a better combat skill, as you know, and as of this moment, Andy is just 1 stamina point ahead, so he's actually effectively worse. Okay, but anyway, we survived, we got our food, and we can finally get out of here. This was a kind of a small fiasco, but we're back on track, hopefully. Scanners report the nearest planet some 3.7 light years from our present position. We set a course and enter warp speed. Warp speed ahead. We approach a medium-sized blue-green planet and take up orbit position. Scanning the planet's surface reveals several clusters of intelligent life forms. We try to contact them, but nothing comes up on the radio. Alright, we are definitely going down. We're going to visit every location we can. Without, we can say we safely can. So let's see who to take along with us. So there are several different intelligent life forms there. Several clusters rather, so they could either be different cultures or different villages. I'm not going to take our security team with us. Instead, we are going to try to do things a bit differently here. I'm going to take Science Officer Tommy B, as well as who should we take? Well, we're going to take Diane this time. Diane has not been on any planetary excursion so far. So we are going to roll with this selection. My plan is that that with our awesome scientific and medical knowledge, we can offer these creatures something that, you know, might come in handy for them. Let's see if that works out. Worst case scenario, we can still probably run away, or hopefully. We land on the planet and look around. A thunderstorm is raging around us and it is pouring with rain. We are standing on rocky ground about 100 meters from what appears to be a village of some kind. 3 aliens, presumably villagers, are shuffling around about halfway to the village, but as we appear, they are startled and turn to face us. They are strange, pudgy creatures with long necks and stumpy legs. One of the aliens turns and waddles off back to the village at what must be a running pace for it. The other 2 are advancing towards us with weapons, long pointed sticks drawn. Okay, so what we can immediately assume that these are intelligent but still relatively primitive creatures. They could be in the Stone Age or somewhat more developed, but in their own Stone Age, I mean. I presume some kind of Metal Age. Or they could be slightly more developed, but not very much so. And so I don't think they pose a threat to us. We have phaser technology. We have recharged our phasers wisely. So even though we didn't bring along any of the security guards, I don't think that, you know, they can harm us when we shoot at them and they're coming at us with sticks. So let's show them that we are not hostile, and let's walk towards them to meet them halfway. We could run for the village. I don't know what point that makes. That could probably just infuriate or scare them, or you know, we could get a hostile reaction. We could also wait for them to arrive, but I want to assert some little bit of dominance. So let's walk towards them, show them that we are not dangerous, and meet them halfway if it works out. They hold their ground and ready their weapons. They shout at us, and through our translator we hear that they are telling us to remain where we are. Okay? I don't want to fight them if we can avoid it. Obviously, we're just some weird aliens who beam down to their primitive little village, and understandably they are scared. I'm not going to provoke them, so we are going to obey them. We can still shoot them if we have to, but hopefully we can avoid bloodshed this time. Through our translator, we talk to them, explaining our mission. They are suspicious and hold us at bay with their weapons, but agree to take us to this village elder to talk. Alright, let's talk to the elder. Let's see what he or he has to say. As we enter the village area, other aliens shuffle towards us inquisitively. We are marched to a large hut in the center of the clearing to meet the village elder. We enter this hut and see a large, somewhat wrinkled alien squatting in a far corner. After we have exchanged introductions, we begin to question him. Alright, so we just arrive out of nowhere and we interrogate the local inhabitants. Now we have 2 options to go for. We could either ask about their knowledge of astronomy, or we could ask him to talk about the planet and its inhabitants. I think that the question about astronomy is an extremely bad idea. These creatures are clearly undeveloped or underdeveloped, so I don't think they have anything meaningful to tell us. They don't have star charts, or you know, they haven't contacted other developed alien life forms, so they could probably tell us a lot of superstitious nonsense, but nothing meaningful to us. Instead, we could still ask him about the planet. He ought to at least be knowledgeable about, you know, his own culture, and maybe he tells us something interesting. If not, we haven't really lost anything. After all, we should study alien cultures. That's our main mission given to us by the Admiral. So let's see what he has to say. The alien is quite a talkative creature, and he tells us that we are on the planet Kliba. Okay. On the surface of the planet there are many villagers of similar creatures. Their stage of cultural development seems to approximate that of the Middle Ages on Earth. They are an agricultural race. The weather on the planet used to be excellent, but bad weather has ruined their crops for several seasons. Alright, so I guess they're a bit more developed than I presumed, but again, they're no match for us technologically, so I feel perfectly safe unless we um, we let ourselves be drugged or, you know, bonked in the head from behind or something else. So if we let ourselves be ambushed or we lower our guard, I don't think we are in any threat or danger. Let's see what else he has to say. The weather is controlled by someone they refer to as the Rain Lord, who lives in a fortified castle 2 hours journey from their village. The Rain Lord is, they believe, punishing them with this bad weather. As the crops have been failing, the village has been hit by famine and disease. Okay, so here we have a mystery on our hand, I guess, and some problems that we could try to resolve. You know, it seems that there is disease among these poor, wretched creatures, and also there is the the issue of the Rain Lord, whoever or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure that's an interesting tale or creature. So I say we should tackle both of these challenges or both of these mysteries one at a time, but only in the next video, because I'm going to make the cut right here. I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.